da da da. Newcomer. That guy on the right looks like he just noticed that the Fang girls breached the outer wall. Well, I guess that explains Elvis' expression, too. Your fella there. Prolific commenter. That'll be because he's about 50% cocaine. Cricket Pinata. Monthly top 5% karma. Elvis didn't really use cocaine. His drugs of choice were legal amphetamine diet pills, and then he would take barbiturates sleeping pills to help him wind down. He tried illegal drugs a few times, according to associates and friends and his own discussions on the topic, but he felt they were dirty and preferred legal drugs. He was pushed along in a fairly hectic work schedule and was constantly getting pep pills shoved to him to keep him up and running. Subatomic 7. Pep pills are a big reason why many of the Golden Age actors and actresses were drug addicts. Studios used to work them as children and young adults like basically slave labor. They fed them these pills to keep them working and for a lot of the young women a substitute for eating, i.e. Judy Garland. So basically movie studios made a whole generation of drug addicts and also terrible eating disorders. A lot of them ended up dying young or horribly as we witnessed. Rimjob Nemesis. Prolific commenter. Fat Pat. Avid voter. Sekv. Elder. I am going to eat grass and bark from now on. Nothing but good old roughage. Maybe I can get past 42 bloody hell. Substantial_radio 737. Health is kind of on autopilot, all good, but when you reach 50, bam. It is literally do or die, clean up your act, eat real food, lose weight, stretch, exercise, get fit, or you are completely F% dollar. It's hard too because you lack energy/condition. In this time, I was like a puffy beached whale, felt winded to even go upstairs or walk to check the mail. Thank God I got a job where I have to be active, except now the damn job owns me for another year or so. Good luck. You'll need it, haha. Sekv. Elder. One day ago. I don't know why I said the last comment. I am 67, and a health junkie. I was drinking a good scotch last night. Worried about US banks. Bertnicci. Newcomer. Noemo lurking. Prolific commenter. Why are all these actors and musicians so fucked up? Degenerates. Maddox photos. While the crew was all doing coke like Scarface. Dragon protein. Prolific commenter. At the same time though, people weren't stupidly self-unaware. I think by the 50s Johnny Cash was well aware the pills were a problem. The Stones' mother's little helper was, what, mid-60s? Subatomic 7. Golden Age is the 1930s, people were stupidly self-unaware. Dragon protein. Prolific commenter. Snapple lizard. My great-grandpa was a trucker in 1940s and they used to take pills to stay awake on the road. He knew it was a problem then, but he just did what he felt he had to do to keep going. I think people always know it's a problem, it's just easier to blame it on someone else or play dumb. I was given a lot of Percocet in the early 2000s as a teen. We all knew you could get high with it, we all knew it was legal opioids. You don't accidentally abuse it and get addicted either. I always needed 5+ pills crushed to get high. You can't do that by mistake. White trash nightmare. Prolific commenter. Judy Garland has entered the chat. Philly Fontaine. Self_redicated. Avid voter. Mato Sensei. Monthly top 10% karma. According to most Redditors, any picture of a smiling celebrity indicates heavy cocaine use. Point-fingers. Monthly top 5% karma. Died the same way as Michael Jackson, Prince, and Tom Petty. Prescription opioids. Elvis had very high levels of the opiates Dilaudid, Percodan, Demerol, and codeine, as well as Quaaludes. These guys lived through drinking, drugs, and STIs and were killed by Walgreens. Cell_thickets_4 foot. Asterisk Pfizer, Squibb, Merck, etc. Colonel__Kurtz__. Earthbound misfit. Prolific commenter. Same way Judy Garland. Live 3 SAV3R. I used to work with the nurse that tagged and bagged Elvis. WMM love. Prolific commenter. +1. Crim Reaper 1. Prolific commenter. They Judy Garlanded him. Citizen_Reddit. The recent Elvis movie from Luhrmann showed some of what you are talking about, but it wasn't the main focus, of course. Decent movie. Smom. And the drug use started in the army, uppers to stay awake on watch and downers to sleep. Dear don't sin. Usually with the diet pills it will keep you skinny. Wonder why he got so fat if he was on legal meth all the time? Cricket Pinata. He was switching between uppers and downers. The barbiturates and opiates he took to wind down and sleep also would leave you badly constipated. A poor diet combined with daily drug use and a stressful work schedule left him in poor health and contributed to his early death. Honey PB. I Schraub for fun. Fun fact. Rebreadsf. He was addicted to opiates. https://www.pbs.org/newshour/health/ Elvis addiction was the perfect prescription for an early death. Darth Vader's shoehorn. Well, we all know how prescription drugs were side effect proof. M0 Smasher. Yet I am wondering how could he be such inhuman that can stay hyped for so long, or at least every time in front of camera. Chanticleer. Avid voter. So. Deconstructed ODC speedballs? Dion Benes. Prolific commenter. Mother's Little Helpers. XXC. Amph is pretty close to coke and badness for your brain. Uneasy face. Cricket Pinata. Not saying one is better than the other. If we were having a discussion about Kurt Cobain's addictions, and someone said, oh yeah, Kurt OD'd on cocaine, and I said, actually Kurt Cobain had a heroin and pain pill addiction, and didn't really use cocaine very much. My correction isn't an endorsement of the drug, it is just correcting the record about what his addictions actually were. My hamburger loves me. Prolific commenter. Strange how when you are rich, getting access to any kind of pill is not a struggle. Big Bump. It is, but at the same time not as much as you think. I work with a lot of addicts in court. When I first started doing this, I was gobsmacked at the access these people had to opiate pills. These people would be in their 20s and 30s and would have a prescription where they would legally get 90 hydrocodone at a time with a direction to take 3 per day as needed. Always for something non-specific like back pain. Or an equivalent amount of benzos for anxiety. Of course that was supposed to be a month's supply and it rarely lasted a month. Either they would overuse it or they would sell the portions they didn't use. Then the ones that have it really bad would be showing up at the emergency room the 3rd or 4th week of the month with a broken arm or mysterious non-specific abdominal pain. I learned relatively quickly that within the community, these people talk and the doctors that would hand out the drugs like candy were very well known. The DEA and the State Medical Licensing Board have cracked down a little more even in the last 10 years, but the clinics are still out there. Of course, if you are very rich, you can hire a private doctor to do the same thing, but you have to pay a whole lot more cash for it. They are only going to get in trouble with the licensing board if they have a patient end up like Michael Jackson. Winston DePuggy 98. I heard that during his autopsy they found blood in Elvis's drug stream. Dragon protein. Prolific commenter. The original Memphis meth head. Punch in your face. I vaguely remember seeing a made-for-TV movie about Elvis and Priscilla when I was a kid. She basically said he would feed her pills to wake her up, then feed her pills to make her sleep. I imagine that's how he functioned all the time. Cricket Pinata. That's exactly how he functioned. Crossed Harabican. Pills might have been shoved to him, but it was his decision as to whether he took them or not. Cricket Pinata. I am not removing culpability from him, but he was an uneducated child of severe poverty who had what he was told was medicine that was given to him by people he trusted. By the time he was seeing negative health consequences, he was badly addicted and surrounded by a support network or people that pushed him to work and didn't care about his well-being. Driven 01A. I took those when I was younger for weight loss. They worked insanely great for that purpose, by the way. A side effect was that they made you super awake all the time, which was great for my work productivity. An added bonus was I was never hungry, so I could skip lunch too. I was a superman at work for a while. I did need sleeping pills at night though. Once I hit my weight goal, I stopped taking them, Doc and I agreed, and became normal again. These days they are all but impossible to get, even with doctor's consent. I can see how taking them for a long time could cause problems. International Emu 803. Elvis regularly got pharmaceutical cocaine from his dentist. He was also big on opiates, codeine, dilaudid ECT. Cricket Pinata. He got cocaine from his dentist for a little while he was in California. He wasn't in California at the time, nor using it regularly. His amphetamine addiction was consistent and far more significant than his time using cocaine. Elvis did use cocaine, but its use was minor in comparison to his amphetamine usage. Ekronwald. Prolific commenter. I wonder if he would be like Dolly Parton if he was still alive. Meaning he got tons of his stuff from black folks, and them being a vital part of his musical culture. I've never done drugs, because I'm quite upset about what it has already deprived me of. Mustard Tiger 1337. Prolific commenter. Much like Jim Jones. R.B. Vegabond. Don't forget he managed to get a federal narcotics badge as well. Angel Teddy _ His daughter Lisa Marie stated in an interview the one time that there would be lines of coke across the tables that her father left around. I still and will always love Elvis, but he did his fair share of dabbling with illegal substances. LUK 90210. Prolific commenter. Most of the drugs Elvis took were prescribed. He wasn't the only person in that time who assumed if it's made by a pharmaceutical company and prescribed by a doctor, it has to be all right. Joe Cool 418. All-time top 100 poster. The competence and ethics of two of the centrally involved medical professionals were seriously questioned. Francisco had offered a cause of death before the autopsy was complete, claimed the underlying ailment was cardiac arrhythmia, a condition that can be determined only in someone who is still alive, and denied drugs played any part in Presley's death before the toxicology results were known. 311 allegations of a cover-up were widespread. 313 while a 1981 trial of Presley's main physician, George C. Nichopoulos, exonerated him of criminal liability for his death, the facts were startling. In the first 8 months of 1977 alone, he had prescribed more than 10,000 doses of sedatives, amphetamines, and narcotics, all in Elvis' name. His license was suspended for 3 months. It was permanently revoked in the 1990s after the Tennessee Medical Board brought new charges of overprescription. 265. Early on, a meticulous dissection of the body confirmed that Elvis was chronically ill with diabetes, glaucoma, and constipation. As they proceeded, the doctors saw evidence that his body had been racked over a span of years by a large and constant stream of drugs. They had also studied his hospital records, which included 2 admissions for drug detoxification and methadone treatments. 315 writer Frank Coffey thought Presley's death was due to a phenomenon called the Valsalva maneuver, essentially straining on the toilet leading to heart stoppage, plausible because Elvis suffered constipation, a common reaction to drug use. 316 in similar terms, Dan Warlick, who was present at the autopsy, believes Presley's chronic constipation the result of years of prescription drug abuse and high-fat, high cholesterol gorging brought on what's known as Valsalva's maneuver. Put simply, the strain of attempting to defecate compressed the singer's abdominal aorta, shutting down his heart. 317. Kobe. Jesus. Fucking Christ. I knew he died on the toilet. I did not know that. Driven 01A. Tooth Point. Elder. Look up toxic megacolon. I seem to recall the details from the autopsy suggesting he was constipated with approximately a month's worth of feces. The end. Have a classy day.